I'm Torie, and you're listening to That Girl the Podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now. Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl, Torie, and I'm back with a whole new podcast episode. I'm really excited for this podcast episode because it is very special. It's going to be a continuation of International Women's Month. So we are going to be talking about women in the media that are influential, specifically how they've influenced me, so it's going to be my point of view. So they may have influenced you differently, or there may be different women in the media that you would pick to influence you. So if you're on a platform like YouTube where you can comment, I really encourage you to comment down below what women in the media influence you and in what way. You can also go on my Instagram or my TikTok and let me know there, but I'm very curious to know. I'd love to know how they support you and things like that. So before we jump in, of course, we have to do a life update. I'm running around like crazy. I'm a little bit stressed. I have a lot going on. So I'm leaving Wednesday for Miami, so I'm actually getting the episodes ready for Wednesday and Sunday. So they are not going to be like the same day uploads like I typically do. They're going to be pre-filmed, obviously. So I'm going to have a guest on Wednesday, so I'm going through that and getting that edited, and then I also need to film and edit the second one, which is a little bit depressy, but we're doing great. I'm also trying to get everything together to pack. I haven't flown probably since 2021, so like 2 years, so I need to like refresh myself on what you can do when you fly and what you can't. And then just like life, getting the animals ready, making sure everyone has food, they're not going to need anything while I'm gone. And the bunnies like eat vegetables, so I need to get all of their vegetables, cut it up, and kind of sort it so that Josh just has to grab like the package and give it to them at the right time. So there's just lots to be done. You know, it's going, everything's going. I went to the barn a little bit earlier today, but it is freezing outside. I don't know what happened. Last week it was in like the 70s and the 80s, and this week it's freezing and rainy. And then we had the whole tornado thing happen, which was obviously not the vibe, you know? So just lots going on here. Hopefully you're doing well and you are having a good time with whatever is going on in your life and you are completing your goals. If you are in Miami, by the way, hit me up. Definitely let me know. I'll be down there for a couple days. But with that being said, let's go ahead and hop on in. So, like I said, this episode is going to be based on women in the media. So, influential women, women who are in, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say just famous, but women that have a lot of eyes on them at all times, how they handle that, what they're doing, and so on. So just women that some of them I've grown up with, some of them I just picked up on recently within like probably the past year is the most recent, and just how they've inspired me. Maybe you'll find some women on this list to follow. I'll give you like a quick background on them. Some of them you're definitely familiar with. Others I'll give you a quick background if you don't know them. But they're all boss babes and they all inspire me in a different way. So I tried to hit like all areas of my goals in my life and things that are important to me so that someone will impact you in some way, whether that's through physical health, mental health, entrepreneurship, anything. I hope there's someone here that will inspire you. So let's talk about these influential women. I'm going to start with someone who is very, very influential. You definitely know who she is, and she has been an inspiration in my life since I was really little, but more so probably like age 20 on, just because as I've gotten older, I've found things more relatable than I previously did. So with that being said, it's the lovely Taylor Swift. Obviously, Taylor was going to be on this list. We love Taylor. She is a queen, but I wanted to talk about why I look up to her personally. I'm sure there's 1,001 reasons why people look up to her, and your reasons may be different than mine, but I just wanted to hit the ones that are most important to me, or else we would be here literally all day. I love her. As you guys know, I've literally written 2 like 20-page college essays on this woman. She is so inspiring to me. She's got me through so much shit that life just throws at you. And she's a queen. The first point is that she's just so hardworking. She is someone who is constantly working to put out new music, to improve from what she did previously. Just whatever she is doing, she is putting 110% into it. And it's something that is so obvious that she has so much respect for her craft. It's not, she doesn't just do music because she's good at it or because there's a lot of money in it or because it just fell into her lap. Like, she genuinely does it because it is her passion and she wants to be the best at it. And so seeing her work hard as much as she allows us to see is so incredibly inspiring. And she, like I said, she's constantly trying to one up herself. It's like she's in a competition with herself at this point because she is so good that I really don't know who else she would compete with. Like, my mind's going blank. No one does it like she does it, but she is continually working to top what she did previously, whether that's through Easter eggs, whether that's through music, whether that's through music videos and the concepts or tour or whatever she's doing. She's just constantly, I feel like she's one of those people who doesn't stop working. Like, she's low-key a workaholic and you have to force her to stop because it's just constantly on her brain, but it's because she loves it so much. So love that for her. Yeah, that's reason number one. Number two is she knows what she wants and she's going to continually work towards it and try for it to work out until it eventually does. I didn't want to say she necessarily takes no as an answer because she's been told no before and she does accept that answer, but she doesn't let it phase her. Like, she just keeps working and topping it. If you watched her documentary, you saw, I think it was the Grammys, where she didn't get nominated one year. And was she upset? Yes, but then she was like, all right, I need to get in the studio. I need to top it. Then she did like amazing. I'm pretty sure she won multiple Grammys this past year. I need to know more. I've just been kind of out of it, but I need to brush up on my Taylor T. But it's just constant examples like that where she doesn't let her get it down. Like, does she get upset by it? Yes. Does it bother her for the moment? But it doesn't deter her. If anything, it motivates her. And she does not take no for an answer. If she wants to do something, she's going to do it. And it's so evident in how much she's achieved and how much she's done. I feel like this goes along with her being hardworking. If you watch any of her documentaries, any of her interviews, then you know that, like, ever since she was really little, this is what she's wanted to do, and she is not taking no for an answer. And I feel like that is just super inspiring. Obviously, talent does play a role. She's extremely talented, but she just understands the importance of, like, hard work. That sounds like that Kardashian quote. That is not what I'm trying to say. Like, no one knows how to work anymore. No, that's not what I'm saying. She's just, it's crazy seeing it. Like, I just don't see that same level with many other people who have already made it these days. Like, she's been in the industry, she's well established, but she still works like it's her first album she's trying to get noticed for. I don't know. It's just, I love that about her. Another one is that she brings social issues to light through her music. Obviously, there are still social issues she hasn't touched on, but two that I immediately come to mind for me are the song The Man and then You Need to Calm Down. Obviously, You Need to Calm Down is about LGBTQ plus issues that she's bringing to light and about how they need, that community should be more welcomed, and she doesn't understand why people have so many issues with it. But for me personally, The Man was such an important song to me because I can relate to it, being a woman who is in the corporate world. Why can't I talk today? Oh my gosh. I'm trying to have a serious conversation with you guys and I'm just blanking. But even if I wasn't in the corporate world, it's so applicable to all areas of life. Like, I am a go-getter. I am someone who is ambitious and I want things to work, but I have felt like I'm competing with a man before, and I have seen men get things over me before, whether that's in a competition or that's in the corporate world or whatever that is. I have seen men get that over me. And I've had to say to myself, was it because they were more deserving or was it because of their gender? And sometimes, unfortunately, genuinely feel like it was because of their gender. So I related to that probably more than I would have had she have posted it or come out with it earlier. She came out with it during my senior year of college, so that definitely was like the perfect time because I was going to grad school and deciding if I wanted to go to grad school or go to the corporate world or wherever I was going to end up. So it was just a really good time for that to drop, and I love how she's not afraid to say it how it is and just tell it how it is. And I think she's earned the respect of the industry that people are willing to listen to what she has to say, and she knows that. So next is pretty obvious. I think this is why a lot of people like her, is that she is relatable on a deeper level. So a lot of artists are relatable. However, it's very basic, like, oh, a boy broke their heart. Oh no. You know, like that is the extent of it. A boy broke their heart. Oh, a boy broke my heart. The end. Whereas with Taylor, it's like a boy broke my heart. He did it in this way. This is how it felt. This was the year it was. This is what I was wearing. And if you do relate to that very specific storytelling that she put in that song, then you do relate to it. And I think that I was very smart of her. That is a very common tactic used in business when you niche down and you are appealing to a much smaller audience than if you were to stay general. However, that much smaller audience is much more deeply impacted, there we go, than someone who would have been impacted on a vaguer level. So I think that's what she does with her music, and it's just super relatable. And you really understand. Like, you genuinely feel like, oh my gosh, she went through what I was going through, or I've been through what she's going through. And it's like she was there. Whereas with other artists, for the most part, it's very surface level. Like, okay, we both went through a heartbreak. Oh no. Ouch. Like, and that's it. So, the last point that I wanted to make for Taylor is that she is just so incredibly intelligent, and you can tell by everything that she does, whether that's reading her lyrics, whether that's listening to her interviews, whatever you are listening to her or watching her do, she is just so intelligent. And the storytelling ability that she has, her ability to plant Easter eggs years before they become relevant is insane. And just her ideas, it's hard to find someone who is so creative but at the same time really good with strategy. No, that's not what I meant. Like, she has the left brain and right brain working double time is what I'm trying to say. Like, you can just tell that she is so good. And, like, you know how most people are better with either their left brain or their right brain? I don't know. We used to talk about this in high school a lot. She uses both. She's out here being a whiz. I don't know. I just think that she is so intelligent, so well spoken. And for me, I am one of those girls who is, like, a little bit more old school. So I really identify with her wanting to just stay home and bake and do very, like, old school introverted things. Like, she the way she dresses is almost like old school is what I mean. And like how she decorates her house and how she talks, you can tell she's an old soul. And I just really relate to that, aside from her being so intelligent. So that is the main reasons why I love Taylor so much and identify with her so much. So yeah, let's jump on into the next influential woman. So the next one we are going to talk about is very, very close to Taylor Swift. They're actually very close friends, and that would be the Selena Gomez, the one and only Selena Gomez. Selena has been an impactful person in my life since probably middle school. I watched her on Wizards of Waverly Place and Barney, but I didn't really get into her or understand her truly as much until my middle school days when I started growing up and like understanding more. So love that. Love her. As I've gotten older, I've just genuinely felt more connected to her. I think when she came out with Revival was when I was like, okay. Like I had all of her CDs before that, but when Revival came out, I was like, I love this human being. And ever since then, I've just been such a huge fan of her. The biggest reason is that she really taught me what it means to be kind-hearted and to be kind and to kill people with kindness. If anyone asks me what my philosophy on life is, I will tell them. I will literally tell you to kill people with kindness. That is always what I say. And it is because of Selena and that song and her posture, the way that she handles life and situations has just been so unbelievably kind. And it's just so beautiful. Like, she's just such a beautiful human being inside and out. I also really appreciate how she has health issues, and obviously that sucks. That's not something that anyone wants to deal with, but she has shown me that it's okay to have health issues and to have to put them first and take a step back from everything else. She puts her all into everything, but she really goes until she can't anymore. And she used to be worse about it, and obviously then she started putting her health first, and that's when she started really understanding that, and that taught me in turn what it means to put your health first, because you guys know I've talked about before, I will give my all to things until it is detrimental to me and to my health. And I feel like Selena did that when she was younger. She's talked about it before, but now that she's older, she really just appreciates her body and her health, and that makes me do it as well, seeing that she is so successful and that she is such a business mogul with Rare Beauty, but she also has music and she has acting, and she has such a wide resume that is so impressive, but she still has health issues and she still puts it first, and she also doesn't let it define her. That is just so inspiring to me. And then the last reason for Selena, although I could come up with a million, these are the top ones, obviously, is that she really doesn't try to cover up or edit herself or her life. She's just super, super real. Like, obviously, we all have a fun face tune now and then, but like, she genuinely is probably one of the most real celebrities on the internet. And people pointed out, like, people were like, wow, I love how real she is. Like, a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago, she posted that she was just fishing in Texas with her family, and it was just her fishing. It wasn't her doing something extravagant. She wasn't wearing a beautiful gown. She was in sweats. She didn't have makeup on. She was like, out fishing with my family. I love this. And that is just so refreshing to see that she is her authentic self, and it makes me feel like, from a beauty and from an internal point, it's okay to be yourself. Like, I'm mainly talking about editing yourself for Selena specifically, because she doesn't edit her external look. Like, she doesn't deeply edit her pictures. She doesn't try and be anything but herself, and that's what Rare Beauty is about. It's about understanding that you're unique and you are beautiful, and there's a reason you're put here, and it's to do beautiful things. And I think that she went so far as to make a beauty brand based on being yourself and being unique. That is so beautiful to me. So I love her so much. And not to mention, Rare Beauty is freaking fire. It's so great. If you haven't tried it, try any product and you will love it. Like, every single product is bomb that comes from Rare Beauty. So moving on to our next, why am I talking in that accent? Moving on to our next gal is Madison Beer. I feel like there's a lot of controversy out there on whether to love or hate Madison Beer, but I personally love her. She mainly has taught me that it's okay not to be okay. There's beauty in the darkness, because she has gone through a lot. She really has, and she's not afraid to talk about it, but she talks about it in a very graceful way. It's not like she's just posting and being like, hey, I'm a victim. Like, no, she doesn't talk about being a victim of her circumstances. She just talks about it in a way that is bringing awareness to it. I'm mainly talking about her mental health, and that's another reason why I find her so influential and inspiring. It's that she has turned her mental health issues into this beautiful chaos. And I'm not saying that like mental health issues are beautiful or amazing or great and everyone should have them. Obviously, you shouldn't, but she has found beauty in the hardships that come with mental health. And you guys know I have so many mental health issues that I truly understand that it is awful. It's horrible. It can be debilitating at times, and it is unpredictable. And she has just turned it into this beautiful work of art that is her discography. Why can't I talk? Her discography. And there's something just so beautiful about it, and just feeling heard and understood. I love that. And I love that she doesn't always feel understood by people, and you expect her to feel like amazing $10 million because she's so beautiful and she's so talented and she has everything to succeed, you know, all the tools. But she talks about feeling misunderstood or not feeling like she is popular or amazing or any of these things. Throughout her music, she just talks about feeling not like she's not enough at times, and it's really refreshing. And it's horrible that she feels that way. Like, I'm so sorry, but at the same time, I feel like we all feel that way at times. So the fact that someone as angelic as Madison Beer feels that way is just really raw. And the fact that she's willing to share that and just share her music that is so authentic when it comes to mental health issues is really inspiring. And then the last reason that I truly look up to her is because she's so naturally beautiful. Like, she just doesn't even have to try. She's so graceful. She's so beautiful. Like, she doesn't wear a ton of makeup, and she's just one of the most beautiful human beings I've ever seen. I think that I look up to her a lot for her fashion sense, for her makeup and how she wears it, how she does her hair, how freaking healthy her hair is. I know that's weird to bring up, but I genuinely look up to her from a fashion standpoint so much because I just love her, and I love how she's willing to overcome her mental health over and over and over because it's a daily battle, and share that battle with us. I'm actually so excited for her book to come out because it talks a lot about mental health, and I'm really looking forward to reading it and just hearing what really has gone on, because obviously we hear glimpses and like little moments, but we don't know the full story. So I'm excited to hear a little bit more and what she reveals about her life. Next, we are going to be talking about a woman who I'm not as closely following as the previous women that I spoke about. However, she still is very influential when I do follow her, and I feel like a lot of you will really identify with her. And her most previous song really brought her back up, and that is Miley Cyrus. She has shown us how she has gone through heartbreak in a very, very public way. She has grown into who she is and become a woman and all of those things in a very, very public way. And would I personally agree with every single thing she has done along this journey? No. However, she has taught me to not care about anybody else's opinions, and I think that is so important. It's an important lesson that everyone needs to learn at some point. She really just showed me how to not care about anyone. If it makes you happy, then freaking do it. Obviously, don't be selfish, and if someone needs you, definitely be there for them. But man, does she not care? Does she genuinely not care? And I really appreciate that side of her, and I appreciate that she's just willing to do it. Just go for it. Like, I can't even imagine how, I don't know, like the things people have said about her in the media after some of the things she's said or done or the backlash she's gotten, and how she just continues to do whatever she wants, and she's literally an icon. I just love that for her, and how full circle it's come. For my next point, that's really what I'm going to talk about, is that she has really shown me that you are the only person that you need, and you can want a man or a woman or, you know, whatever you are attracted to. You can want companionship, but you are enough as you are, and you don't need it. You can want it, but you definitely don't need it. You are just enough as you are. You are enough for yourself. You are a bad bee, and I really appreciate that, and that she has come out with that message after all that she's gone through, and that she's done it all in the media, like from a very, very young age. This woman has been in the media. She was literally a child when she really went on blast with everything, but yeah, she's just grown up and become this beautiful woman who just does not care. So we're going to switch gears. We are going to switch from musicians to podcasters. So obviously all of the people I previously talked about are very, very well-known musicians. Aside from maybe Madison Beer, I feel like she's definitely gotten a lot bigger, but she's not as big as everyone else yet. I have faith in her. But next we're going to be talking about podcasters. So for the podcasters, I have two that I want to talk about that have really shaped me and my views and influenced me to become a better woman through certain avenues. So the first is Chelsea and JC from What We Said, the podcast. JC has been on social media for much longer than she's done the podcast. That's actually how I found her podcast. Like, I'm not trying to be that person that's like, oh my gosh, I've followed them since the beginning. Because, like, it genuinely doesn't matter when you follow them. But I think that it's been, I want to say, I don't know, it's been years. Because I've followed JC for so long, because I found her through Aspen Ovard, which we love Aspen Queen. But anyway, I love them, and their grind is unlike any other. I mean, Chelsea, I don't know as much outside of the podcast because she wasn't in the public eye before the podcast, but both of them, just the new ideas they bring every single week, how fun and creative, and just they're always so positive and in good moods. And I'm not going to lie, it's hard to be in a good mood sometimes when you're podcasting. It's hard to have 110% energy, and they bring it, man. I mean, they bring it. I admire them because they are always very positive in a sense that they are trusting that everything will work out. And while they are working so hard, they are also having so much fun while doing it. And I think that that's so important. It's hard to have fun when you're working hard sometimes. It's hard to still have fun and not get so caught up in everything and get stressed out. And they just seem to always be having such a good time. And whether they actually are being super positive behind closed doors, I'm sure they still have days where they feel negative or they don't want to vibe or whatever. But they definitely hold up their reputation as very positive women, and it's so inspiring. It's so inspiring. I am so disappointed because I wasn't able to see them when they came on tour, because the closest they came is Nashville, which is 3 hours away, but I just couldn't do it with the Miami trip. I couldn't do both, so I hopefully we'll see them soon, or even get the chance to meet them. They're literally my list of dream guests for the podcast, but they're just so inspiring. They also genuinely just made a niche out of themselves and became a major podcast in the industry just by being themselves, which is so hard to do. Everyone says they want their niche to just be themselves, but do you know how hard it is to convince a bunch of people that you are cool enough to be your own niche? Like, if you're not offering vlogging, or if you're not offering education or something at some point and just showing up as your genuine, authentic self, it is really hard to get people to pay attention to you. And they've done it just by chilling and being themselves and hanging out on the podcast. And I love that. I genuinely am so inspired by them and their podcast. Helps me strive to be a better podcaster and woman every day. So the last woman, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right or not, the last girly pop that I'm going to be talking about is the infamous Maddie Murphy from The Bad Broadcast, which she is probably the newest addition to my influential person list. I've probably been listening to her right about a year now, and I'm obsessed. I love Maddie. Like, I love her, and I genuinely think we would be best friends. So, Maddie, if you're listening, please be my friend. I would like to visit Utah at some point. I've never been, and I've heard it's very beautiful. But anyway, she's another one of those people who just has made a career out of being herself, and it is so refreshing. My number one influential reason for putting her on this list, or number one reason why I find her influential, words are hard, is that she has genuinely nailed into every single one of her subscribers that girls can be funny and silly and still be successful and have an entire empire of women behind them. Like, her podcast is just her being sarcastic and funny, and sometimes it's even her being a little negative and just like being, we hate that. Do you guys hate that? Because I hate that. And it's just like so well done. It's done in such a way that it's just chef's kiss. Like, Maddie, I am so proud of you. She has, I mean, she just has made such a career out of being funny and like being real, being so real. Sometimes she's so real that I'm like, wow, I can't believe she told that story. Wow, I can't believe, and it's just like she's just talking about her life, like nothing crazy, and I genuinely love it. And she also, this is kind of the same thing, but my next point for why I find her influential is that she really shows that you don't have to be this cookie cutter perfect image of that girl, that you can be successful just by being you and your version of that girl, which is something that I post and talk about on here. That's the entire reason for the podcast. But she definitely lives out that truth and shows that you don't have to be that perfect girl who does her makeup and does her hair and has this certain body type and goes to the gym at this time and is always 110% and CEO and girl boss of the world. Like, all of those things are great, and if you want to do that, do you. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to feel pressured to do that. You can be successful just by being you. And sometimes you can complain. You can talk about having period cramps. You can not want to get up in the morning sometimes. You definitely don't have to get up at 5 a.m. But you're going to be fine either way. You're going to be successful regardless of what you do, and it's all going to work out. And that is a message I try and preach on here. So the fact that she does it so well is so inspiring. The next point I want to talk about is that she has shown me that laughter is genuinely the best medicine, no matter what you're going through. And when things go wrong, sometimes you just have to laugh at it. Like, sometimes you just need to giggle a little bit. She just comes through everything that she has gone through in the past year with just laughter. And I'm sure that behind closed doors, she probably isn't laughing 100% of the times. I know that there are things that need to be kept private, and what we see is not 100% of it, but I mean, she has handled it way more gracefully than I would have, and that's saying something. I mean, honestly, I'm not the most graceful person on the planet, but genuinely, like, it's saying something, and I am so proud of her, and she has shown me that you're gonna be fine the best ways through, and you're gonna come out of it better than how you were before going into it. And now she's thriving. She is in her self-healing, thriving, queen, self-care, self-love era. And I am so proud of her for getting there, because the only way is through, and we love that. And the final bullet point for Miss Maddie is that wherever you end up in life, it is okay. You're meant to be there. You may not have planned to end up there, but you're meant to be there. And even if it's not where you want to be, you're meant to be there. It's okay, and something else may come along eventually, or it may fall into your lap, and then you're going to be meant to be there. But don't take life so seriously, because wherever you end up, whatever happens, it's okay. You can feel like you made a mistake, but that mistake got you to where you are, and you are meant to be there. So I hope that is an uplifting note to end on. I just love these women, and hopefully you will check them out if you haven't, because you will probably enjoy them as much as I do, especially if you resonated with the points I brought up for each of them. Like I said, Chelsea and JC are what we said, and then Maddie Murphy is the bad broadcast. All the other women I'm sure you know or have heard of, but yeah, this is pretty much it. If you are watching on Apple or Spotify, don't forget to leave a rating and a review. It brings my podcast from a 2 to a 10 in the ratings, and everyone loves it. And it's, from a 10 to a 2. A 10 to a 2. It brings it up. We're going to talk about that. It just brings it up. Math is hard. We don't do that around here. But I really hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to share if you're listening on your Instagram, and I will repost it, or on your TikTok. I just hit my glasses with the mic, so hopefully that wasn't too much. Sorry, I'm like all up in your personal space. But yeah, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at thatgirlthepod. I've been posting a lot more, but I'm going to try and post even more than that. I'll hopefully get some cool content in Miami. Woo! And next time I'll see you live, it'll be a week and a half from today, right? Yeah, it'll be next Wednesday. So not this upcoming one, but the next one. So I hope you have a great week and a half. You can always still reach out to me. I probably won't be on socials as much, but I'll be chilling and I'll be happy to respond every couple of days. But I love you so much. If you're watching this on Sunday night, I hope you have a great night. If you're watching this any other time, I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, or night. I upload every single Wednesday and Sunday, and I will see you in my next podcast episode. All right. Bye, guys. Love you.